Hello, how are you? I hope you're keeping well, you're keeping safe. Welcome to the Majestic Events Kenya YouTube channel. My name is Marion and I am happy to have you. And we're here with Kezy from Zuri Events. Karibu sana for part 2. Okay, so thank you for coming back and thank you for being here and taking your time. Now, last week you talked to us about your journey and you were telling us how you got business, in year one, big business in year one. But you talked, or rather you mentioned that passion had nothing to do with us, to do with it. Why don't you take it and explain?
I think given a choice between passion and strategy, I will pick strategy. I will pick strategy any day.
Kezy, you didn't have a passion for events. You didn't love,
No, Marion.
Kezy.
Well, we've been privileged as Zuri to manage a couple of events, different types of events. But I wouldn't even sit through the event. I will not sit here and tell you that I have this amazing passion, something to die for. No. I would say that in a sense, I'm a strategist. I am an entrepreneur by heart.
Okay.
I am an entrepreneur by heart. I will take an idea, and I often say, Marion, even if I was selling cabbages, I would still build systems around it. I would still have strategy around it.
So if anyone is watching, so are you saying that passion, you don't really have to be passionate? I think even Mary asked me that question. Do you have to have passion to get into this industry?
I'll tell you what. How about having passion for results? How about having passion for impact? Because that I do. Passion for systemizing a business.
Yeah.
Passion for growth. Passion for impact.
But
I will not, because this thing, I've sat with a couple of entrepreneurs who say, I've got passion for this business. And even when the business is dying out, they will not revolutionize. They will not plan, differently. They will not think, they will not even pivot because they are very passionate about the initial idea or the industry. Passion, unfortunately, can stand in the way of growth. And I think for a lot of the events industry here, not just in Kenya, but I think mostly around the world, you will find that it is predominantly owner managed, except for those businesses that have, grown very large and have built extensive systems around them. Many businesses are small owner managed businesses where the owner has this passion that drives the business. Unless they are able to contain that passion, systemize it, and build strategy around that passion,
it's not going to work.
It can kill, Marion, and like I said, it will kill the business, it will kill the business owner, we will bury both of you with your passion, plant across and we'll move on.
Okay, so perhaps we say passion for the right things, or, for strategy, for systems, because there are people who actually do have passion, but this is your journey. So I know I keep answering questions and I keep saying you have to have a passion. So I've learned something new today, that you don't really have to have a passion for that specific, industry. Perhaps learn about it and understand, especially if I think you're the market focused kind of.
You could learn about it. Everything I know about the events industry, I have learned about it. I have no, unlike you, I have no certification in wedding planning. I have absolutely no certification
in any events, in any.
I don't. In wedding planning or in corporate event management, I am very passionate about education for the industry because I know what educating can do. It opens up your mind and as to what are the different opportunities, what are the different models that exist. I'm passionate about that. But I cannot say that the passion to plan an event is what kept me in the market. What kept me in the market is a passion to build a thriving enterprise.
Okay, well done. So clearly, we move from survival stage where you explained, yes, you had it a little bit in year one, and you move on, and let's come to stability stage where Chuck Blakeman says this is where you're covering your expenses, there's profit in the business, you know, it's running. How was that for you? Was it challenging in any way? Because I know you got there.
Yeah.
You know.
So I would say, if you look at that, the model, I would say we hit stability year one in a huge sense, because you had profit that we are plowing back, because you had mega projects, honestly, that are happening.
Yeah, I mean, look at 300 tents. I mean, that's like.
And that was in Western Province, and at the same time, I was in Nairobi running smaller events for different other brands. I remember one in Nairobi at that point that was at KICC, and that, you know, we had to put tentage there, was something that was happening for one of the defunct share, what do you call them? I need to get the right word, but one of the companies that the NSC needed to manage, you know, shareholders were coming in every day, and we had to put tentage there for 30 days. So we had smaller projects happening here in Nairobi. So we did hit stability year one. Well, you have resources coming in. Yeah, we are plowing back, because for me, always, you know, put back. We grew the business organically plow back as much as of everything that you get in. But then within that stability stage, of course, it wasn't going to be possible for me to manage all the different aspects of the business for a long time alone. So began to recruit, began to train. There are three areas of the business that, for me, in this year one, I put systems in almost immediately. Three areas of the business. The first one was in what I call resource management. So this is our finance planning, our people management, what you would call in typical, I think in hereafter we've called it our finance and admin department. But for me, it's just resource management. How do we manage our money? How are we managing our people? How do we manage our inventory? And that would be the responsibility. And I delegated that task, did a lot of training around it, and delegated that so that I didn't have to handle it. The second one is our marketing and communications, because you can have this awesome value proposition as a business, but if as long as you're not communicating it, it's you and your passion and your big plan going
in
to
your
bed.
in your room.
You know. So our marketing and communications, that's the PR, that's, you know, generally, who are we as a brand? What do we stand for? And that's the point at which we started looking at how do we communicate, what are our values, what's, you know, even your positioning statement, things like that. How do our letterheads look like? How do we do our proposals? Building a model around that, and we delegated that.
Before you get into the third thing, thank you so much, because you're proving to us, you're proving to other event planners that systems are important. Look at how you're talking about resource management and the training, and, you know, how you handle that. And what I love is, you know, Chuck Blakeman talking about, you know, business development. That's what you're talking about, marketing and communication. I think people don't do that. So thank you for mentioning that. It's good to meet someone who actually has a system in all these things.
It's really important because, you know, the third one, let me just talk about the third one. The third one is our project management. We later called that department our project management department, because our business is in projects.
Yes.
You'll have a project here and there, so you need a team that's managing the delivery of that, managing the logistics, managing the quality assurance, customer expectations, all that, and I delegated that. Systems, Marion, if you don't systemize an idea, if you don't systemize even a thought, don't build systems around it, the capacity for it to grow is diminished. You mute it even before you get started.
Because it's only in your head.
It's in your head. And you know, that's what I find about entrepreneurs. The whole vision is in your head. The whole strategy is in your head. You're the only one who knows how much money you need. You're the whole strategy.
The only one.
One of the things I would do, Mario, is sit with the team. At the end of the year, sit with the team and brainstorm together about strategy for the coming year. Already, as a business owner and with my co-director, we already know what the strategy for the next 5 years is. We need to engage the people.
Exactly.
These are the dynamics on the ground. This is where we see ourselves going. So we would sit together and come up with a strategy for the period that's coming. What are the targets for the next quarter? And, you know, sell your vision to your people. Your people will run with it.
And let them have ownership.
You'll be surprised. I tell business owners, you will be yes, you're the founder, yes, you're the vision bearer, but you'll be surprised how brilliant your people are. Many of them are sharper than you. You know, if you don't sell your vision, people can't help you birth the vision and keep it alive. Yeah.
Wow. And how long did it take to create these systems? Like if someone is out there and they want to create, system, like how long did it take you? I know by the time I created process maps for my, people within my business, it took us about 8 months to literally do it, try it, how long did it take you?
I think I would say it's fluid. It's fluid because, if you take an area of your business and you want to develop a system around it, it could even take you 3 weeks. Because when I say system, don't think of it as a big giant thing. I'll tell you, I was going to bring you a notebook with the first day of the business on it. Actually, the very first day that I sat with my mentor and talked about the business, from when the idea came in mind, I began to document. What have we spent on this? You will find even has receipts stapled to it. That's 2007. I had no QuickBooks, I had no Office at that point, but that's a system that, it is written down that if you procure anything and it's going to this book, we would manually even do a P&L, profit and loss.
Yeah.
This person picked this over. Can you imagine when at that point manually?
Yeah.
In a book, but it was easy to then translate that, into a computerized system. But system, let people understand that a system is a way of doing things, a well-known and understood way of doing things, so that your people understand that when we procure, first of all, this is how we go through the procurement process. We need to get 3 quotations. We need to, pick the lowest bidder. This person we are procuring from, we need to have their records in our system. A proper way of doing this. So it could be anything from 3 months to whatever. And I have to tell you that it never reached a point of maturity that we stopped doing that.
You kept going.
We kept going because we are constantly innovating as a business. We are constantly evolving. We are constantly shifting gears. So we set aside Mondays at Zuri for training. And we would train every Monday, every single Monday. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter where I would be around the world. I would even log in, find a way to just log in and join the team and find out what are we training on. It's a way of making sure that everybody, I kept saying, we're only as strong as the weakest link in the business. The last man in the business needs to know what I know. They need to be as good at it as I am.
Yeah.
Because chances are the customer will find them before they find me.
I like how you say you used to have meetings, trainings on Monday. We also used to have trainings on Monday. So that's like, oh, yes, no, you're not the only one. Now, clearly you moved into the succession stage, which is where, you start having other people operating on your behalf in other producers for the business. And I'm sure this already happened for you year 1, year 2, because you couldn't have handled that. How was it? Because I've heard a lot of people say, not a lot of people, but a couple of people, when they expand and when they employ, quality is an issue.
Yeah. Yes. Now, there are challenges of growth. Growth itself can kill, especially when you grow very fast. That alone can kill. Growth is a good thing, but growth has to be managed. When you begin to grow rapidly and you have all these different volumes coming in, your eye has to be on quality assurance. One of the ways that we manage that threat, that when you employ and you sell the vision, and you will have people coming in who may not be as passionate as you are about quality or about customer management. How we handle that is constantly training. And for me, I train first on the values of the business. I train you on the values because unless you carry or embody the values of the business, even if I teach you how to clean this cup, you will never understand where I'm coming from with wanting a very clean cup. But if you understand the value system, the big why, not just the what, the big why. And many times we don't tell our workers the why. We tell them what to do. We don't sell the why. If I tell you, these are the values, this is what we live for, this is our brand ethos, this is our life, If I now tell you this customer deserves a clean cup because this cup represents who we are, or a clean tent, or linen that's not torn. And that's not to say we didn't struggle with staff who just wouldn't get it. We struggled with that. And, there's a process for separation. When you get to a point where, a member of staff just wouldn't get it. But training, selling the vision helped because I needed ambassadors in the team. Even if I'm not there, there are people in the team who will say, that's not how we do things. You need to do it this way. Because at Zuri, we had something that we've often called the Zuri culture. And we needed to educate everybody who is working with us on what's the Zuri culture. What's the Zuri culture? Things like, the customer is our friend. We are not out to make a sale. We are out to make a customer. We need to delight that customer. They need to be left delighted. It's not just how much is in the balance sheet.
Wow. So, I'm hearing a lot of training happening. I'm hearing for you to be what you are right now, for there to be a conference at Zuri, or rather, for there to be a conference that Zuri is handling. Kezy, the owner, the founder, does not need to be there. And what runs that conference is actually systems and the people that she has trained. And it just rolls like that. So tell me, what challenges did you face? And because of those challenges, what would you tell other event planners or other people who want to get into this space to do?
Yeah, well, we've had a different set of challenges along the way. You're right when you say, quite frankly, honestly, and even with a lot of humility, and I think with a lot of recognition for all the different young people who've worked with me over the years, because there are many brilliant young people who've worked with me over the years. I did not ever need, to be present in a conference or for an event, for that event to happen. I did not need. Credit to the system, the systems in the business, but also credit to the quality of young people in this market. Because I know we have many negative things to say about the people who work for us, but I have very positive things to say about the young people who've worked for me over the years. Tremendously talented young people who made contributions in the brand that they left it better than they found it.
That's awesome.
Who innovated certain things around within the brand that made us stronger and better, and they left a mark. And I would say that part of the reason I would say these young people left a mark is because I'm most certain that the business left a mark on their lives as well, in terms of improving who they are, just enhancing their own capabilities. And I kept telling them, what we train you here at Zuri, you don't leave it when you leave. You carry it with you, your confidence, your poise, because we train on stuff like even pitching. How do you present yourself? And, the confidence. And I would always marvel to see how they burn, how they just come alive from the day one when they come in to the point when they're leaving. So yes, credit to the people. Some of the challenges in the business as we have evolved, of course, cash flow it takes on a new meaning. I know that when AGPO, for example, access to government procurement opportunities was launched for women and youth-owned enterprises, sometime it should have been 2017, 2015, should be 2015, I'm not very sure. We were one of the first businesses in the industry that slid in and began to do a lot of business with government and government institutions. But a few years into it, we realized that this opportunity, as much as it had facilitated growth for the business, it was going to be the opportunity that would kill the business. Because, we are financing government. it's one thing to finance your operations. It's a totally different ballgame to finance government.
Please,
where you deliver to a government institution, and then you have to wait for 120 days for payment. And then remember, when you deliver, you issue an invoice with ETR for payment immediately upon delivery.
Exactly.
So you then have to pay tax.
Yes.
You have to remit tax, and we realized our model wasn't going to work for us. So 2-3 years into it, we pulled back and we began to say no.
2-3 years, so we're in 2020, so around.
So that was we did 2015, 2016, 2018. 2018 pulled back. I have to tell you about a shift in the business model that happened in 2017 that maybe informs where we are right now. In 2017, we, my co-director and I sat down and we decided, looking at the market trends around the world, asking ourselves, where is this industry going in the local market in Kenya? What does it look like in the region? How can we project? Where is it going to be? And one of the things we decided to do was to divest out, kick off all the inventory that we did. That was 2017, end of 2017. And 2018, again, the get out of AGPO. We are straining the business. We're having to work really hard.
You got out of AGPO?
Yes, 2018. Completely. We're straining the business. It doesn't work for us,
it's not
Marion,
working.
because we're straining the business. So you're busy. Our operations department is very busy.
And by the way,
But our finance department is complaining. There's no money.
There's no money.
But we're very busy. How do you convince suppliers you have no money? You're busy. Your trucks are all over the road. You're busy. You're looking very good out there.
And I remember you saying that at the beginning.
You're very
events
busy.
is like showbiz. You want to look like you're working.
Showbiz. So for me, showbiz X. For me, if it doesn't make business sense,
there's no point of doing
it's going to have to go. It's going to have to go because we realize we are straining. We're straining our resources to carry on a model that's not sustainable. And remember, what are we after? Sustainable business. Yeah, so we pulled out of there. That made a decision to completely get out of the inventory space. It took me almost a year to sell the vision to staff.
Because that's what they have always done.
That's what they've always done. That's what has put bread and butter. And let me tell you, I got into a season of encouraging staff to upskill. Get additional skills. And I said, if all you know is to drive a truck, what's going to happen when I divest and get these trucks out of here? If all you know is to pitch or, to put up, the props in a conference room, what can you upskill? What additional skills can you bring on the table? And it took me almost a year to walk that journey with the staff and at the same time destock. Towards the last quarter of 2019, we were able to completely destock. Zuri owns zero inventory. Zero. From a very heavily bulky business to a very lean business.
Yes, because we used to hire stuff from you.
Yeah, we don't own any inventory. Completely got out of, so we had done the journey from event supplies. Then we got into a phase where we were doing both event supplies and event consultancy. And then we got out of that completely. Began to do concept development. So we design concepts for our own events. We own our own events and also design concepts for clients who want to run their own events for their own brand, create brand engagement platforms. But then even beyond that, at the end of 2019, began to think around what's our impact to our industry? How do we impact our industry? You might know that in 2017, when we made this decision, we launched the Global My Summit in 2018 and began to run that conference. We launched the Africa Tourism Technologies and Innovation Forum, which is now in its third year. And we're constantly developing concepts around sectors where we have an interest, where we can bring together stakeholders. So along the way, we've had to constantly evolve. And every time we evolve and enter a new space, there's a new set of challenges around there.
Absolutely, and new things to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. So currently, what we are most invested in is the technologies for mice, training and knowledge development for mice. We've recently, right now, just put together an innovation hub to incubate businesses within the meetings and events industry. It's not just for Kenya, but across the region. We want to do a lot more in the area of sustainability, which is a really big component for Zuri.
Because you're now the champion. I'm telling you, everyone who talks about sustainability now says Zuri, says Kezy. They cannot talk about sustainability in Kenya without mentioning your name.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a recent thing, but throughout this conversation, what we had last week, you talked about sustainability from day one.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that it's taken over 8 years, 9
to mature
years to mature that concept of sustainability, how to have a sustainable business. What does it mean? I mean, you've done a lot. You've really, you're the person to look out for. There's a lot that even I can learn from you. And I would love to ask, as your way up, as parting shot, what 3 things would you say have helped you to achieve this success? In my opinion, you are a complete success story.
Thank you.
In this industry. So what are the 3 key things that you do?
I think the first one for me is be authentic. Be authentic. Your journey is not everyone's journey. And everyone's journey is not your journey. Be authentic. Find the thing that's for you to do. And be authentic. Be authentic in being committed to your own journey.
Say that again. Be authentic in being committed to your own journey.
Your own journey.
It's very profound.
Yeah. I know very early on in the business, year 1, with all the struggles of, oh gosh, I'm everything in the business. And my co-director said to me, who is my husband, said to me that, if you're faithful to the business, it will be faithful to you. So if you find the thing that you're after, and you be authentic about what am I after. If you ask me, for me, Kezy, what am I after? For me, it's to build sustainable business models. I'm passionate about sustainable business and trade, because I know the impact that it can have. We cannot change communities unless we have sustainable, thriving businesses. This business, Zuri, has been able to educate, as at the close of last year, in just 4 years, 7, almost 8. When we have 1 who is still in school, but 8 girls from very, very, very needy, backgrounds. Backgrounds where if you walked into their homesteads, you would know, unless an education, a good education is given to this girl, this family is not going to survive. So be authentic in being committed to your own journey. We are in this for different reasons, all of us. So find the thing for you and then be very authentic and committed to that. I think number 2, personal development. The business, like I said, will never go where you have never gone. It will never see what you have never seen. It will never be what you have never been. Constantly invest in developing yourself. Constantly. In the first year of business, there was a program that was funded by IFC in Kenya that was called Growth Oriented Women Enterprises. And they were training, women entrepreneurs on how to run business. I have to tell you, I don't have an entrepreneurial background. Like I can't say I'm from a family of, entrepreneurs. No, I am not. I am a self-taught entrepreneur. And I took it upon myself in 2007 to constantly do these different programs, IFC, until, the funding was out of Kenya. It was no longer running. From there, I've done different programs, from the Vital Voices, which was inaugurated by Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State, to the Sherry Blair Foundation. In 2015, 2015, I was selected for the Mandela Washington Fellowship, which is an initiative by President Obama. Just recently, I think 2-3 years ago, I did the Goldman Sachs program at USIU. Beyond that, I have a lot of different certifications in trade and business courses. Right now, like I told you, I'm hustling to get done with my PhD.
PhD.
Constantly invest in developing yourself. And as you're doing that, invest in your people. Develop your people. Train, mold, upskill your people. Develop your people, because they are running with the business. If your business is going to be competitive, your staff need to be good. They need to be good. And then I would say that thing, the last, you asked me for 3, I think 3 is always a magic number, I don't know why. But I would say that thing, Marion, is do it for the long haul. For the long haul. Have a mindset that's long term. The events industry has, I've had people say quick money. Quick money. I have not seen the quick money. I've seen the money, not necessarily the quick money. Go for it for the long haul.
Go for it for the long haul.
For the long haul. It doesn't mean that you have to run the business for the long haul, but work on making sure that concept can stand the test of time.
So the 3 things are: be authentic, and constantly develop yourself, and be in it for the long haul.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I have learned so much. I'm sure the viewers have learned so much. You've given us a completely different perspective. And I would love to have you back. Oh man, I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for listening to Kezi's story. I'm sure it's inspired you. On this Business Maturity series, we left the best for the last. So thank you for joining us, and we shall be seeing you next week.
Wow. Thank you.